we are dancing. Are we dancing or not dancing? I can't remember.
Doing it all.
Are we doing it? I can't remember for. Whoa, that
no,
was
we're
weird.
doing it all. You got to
Okay.
dance. You can't dance. In rhythm, out of rhythm, whatever it looks like. Most
No
likely
IT
as
guys
seals
ever should
in a
be
mating
dancing.
season.
Good Lord. I'm glad most people watch or listen to this audio only and not the video. Criminy. Welcome everybody to episode 96 of UnHacked. We're here again breaking down cybersecurity, AI, all things. I don't know. I don't have my standard thing ready, but I do have the pop quiz because I told you guys be paying attention. What's different in my studio today? And if you're listening on audio, you don't even get to play this game. And if you can figure it out, well, I shouldn't say it. Do you guys have, you know what it is? Josh, Brian, Mario, nobody?
Flower?
I didn't even notice. No.
I feel like it's
flower.
The hang loose in the background.
Oh hell
Is
no!
it
That's
No,
been
that's
forever.
he's had that. It's is that the orchids behind you?
That's been there forever.
The flower?
God damn, you guys are not observant. So here's what I'm going to do. New game. If viewing audience, if you can figure out what's different this week versus last week, I'll give you $100. Just go on to unhackmybusiness.com, go to the contact the host or whatever that form is, and tell me what's different. If you get it right, $100. First one only. I'm not giving out $100 to everybody. All right.
Is it visual or is it
got.
audio?
I'm not telling. You got to figure it out.
Are we allowed to participate?
No,
Are we
hell
allowed to
no.
go back?
No,
Hey,
you
we
already
can get
had your
$100
chance.
too.
You got your first shot, and you
Mario,
both failed.
it's fine. We'll just pretend we're somebody else, and we'll fill it in, and we'll win. Our 10
John
audience
Doe is
members
about to win
won't
this.
have a chance.
There you go. Listen, it's a serious offer for reals. I'm just curious if anybody will actually notice and report. Maybe we'll play this game every week. I don't know. Episode 96, guys. We are in phase 3 of our mini series on AI/cybersecurity. Everything that we can do to increase productivity. The standing claim has been 10 to 50x. We've proven that over and over and over. And we're just going to come back and do it again. Well, I don't know. Brian, you're on. So I guess we'll see if you can prove that this week. That said, let's go ahead and do our quick introductions. I'm Justin Shelley, CEO of Phoenix IT Advisors. I help people make lots of money using AI and then protect that money from the Russian hackers, the government who's going to come in and fine your ass if you do things wrong, and then the greedy attorneys who are going to come and sue you on top of it all. That's what I do. We're going to go around the room from most hair to least hair. Josh, that makes it you. You're up next.
Yes, I'm still in the running for most here. I love it. Joshua Holloway, CEO for Seventh AI Technologies. We're here out of the Sacramento area with an office in Reno, and we're primarily helping companies lock down and protect their services under the guise of compliance. And we're also helping them navigate the waters of artificial intelligence and all the different ways that they can leak their information out there. So we try and stop all.
All right. Who's got the next most hair? It's not you, Mario.
Probably
Don't you
me.
even dare try to stand
I
up.
suppose. All right, fine. My name is Bryan Lachapelle with B4 Networks, based out of beautiful Ontario, Canada, in the Niagara region, and we help business owners remove the headaches and frustrations that come with dealing with technology, cybersecurity, and now AI.
Baldy, you're up. And I like the shine, by the way. You got a nice What? You think I got what?
I think you have more hair than me, don't you? And this facial
Well,
count?
I don't know. I started it off. It doesn't count. I don't.
Mario Zaki, CEO of Mastech IT, located in Smoky, New Jersey, because of the Canadians up there and their forest fires.
Sorry.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, located in New Jersey, we help small to medium-sized businesses with all their IT needs. We specialize in keeping them secure so they can sleep better at night, knowing that they will wake up with their businesses still there.
All right, I think that's everybody in. My bad, because I had to silence my phone. I don't know if anybody heard that. All right. Anyways.
No.
They'll get another $100 if they heard it.
I was going to say, like, if you can identify the sound, we'll start having giveaways. It just seems like the right thing to do. Oh, we need to get sponsors. We'll start bringing vendors in and make them pay for the giveaudgiveways.
Ooh, excellent. I like it.
All right.
That's
Listen,
a good idea.
guys, we have episode 100 coming up. This is 96. We've got 4 more. We got to do something big. Audience, help us out. Co-hosts, help me out. We got to do something wild for 100. All right. We are today going to continue our little vibe coding session. And, you know, some people love vibe coding. Some people hate it. We had a comment on YouTube today, guys. Somebody got on there and said something to the effect of, the more I hear about AI and business, the more I hate it, or something like that. I don't know. I'm paraphrasing badly. I'm just like,
AI fatigue. I was wondering if that was going to come up.
I said, your competitors, thank you. Anyways. Guys, do you have anything you want to say before we turn it over to Brian and get started? What has this week looked like? Highlights, anything new you've done with AI that you want to brag about or rat on yourself about if you found a new security blip that you kind of caught you off guard? I'm not telling on myself, not yet. Anybody? Bueller?
Yeah, well, for me, it's actually, and we were talking about it earlier. I started using Gronk, the Gronk agent, because within the last week or two, there's been this debate,
Gronk?
Fable 5 and Gronk and GPT
Isn't that the
5.6
Chinese?
and so on. I'm sorry?
I'm just quoting Bryan pre-recording. I'm like, isn't that the Chinese?
Thanks. I appreciate it.
These models, they're really getting crazy. They're much faster. They're actually doing, at least for now, the ones that I've been working with, they haven't been making any errors. A lot of times I have to go back and say, God damn it, fix this. Stop wasting my tokens. Gronk has been spot on. I've been loving it.
Really?
Well, I'm going to correct you a little bit. Maybe you better get some AI helping you out on the pronunciation, because I looked up Gronk with an N, Gronk, which tells you how much I use this one. In slang, Gronk most commonly refers to an unintelligent, clumsy, or obnoxious person. Mario, I think you're referring to Grok, Grok, without the N.
Grok. You know what it is? I'm a big football fan, and there's a football, Rob Gronkowski. His nickname was Gronk. So I keep my tongue just wants to say, my tongue just wants to say Gronk, but it's Gronk.
Okay,
I know.
So you're a Gronk/Grok fan, and it doesn't make as many mistakes and doesn't waste as many of your tokens. Yeah, that's the highlight there. All right, anybody else?
Find out.
What else you got?
Yeah, for this week,
Josh.
Before Bryan goes, this week I think one of the things I did the most was pit two different LLMs against each other as far as critiquing and improving documentation. And I actually got Claude to praise ChatGPT for what it did.
Oh, really?
Where it's like, I'm going to be honest with you, whatever you just did in ChatGPT, it came out great. It's wonderful. I don't have to make a change. We're just going to clean it up as far as look and feel. Have a nice day. Like I was out, and mind you, at that iteration, I had only gone from Claude to ChatGPT, ChatGPT back to Claude. That's all the iterations I went. And it was just like, hey, you know what? I'm throwing up my hands. This is great.
Interesting. Okay. Well, listen.
It was a trip to see
they play nice with each other.
Yeah, I guess so.
That's good.
Maybe they're all talking. Who knows?
Very good to hear.
I tend to put them up against each other.
Yeah. They're going to need each other when they overtake us.
That's true.
They got strength in numbers.
They're going to reference my interaction as what built that treaty of trust.
That's right. Aha. Josh unlocked the code. Bryan, do you have any highlights before you get into your presentation? Any highlights from this week?
No, I mean, no, not really.
All right. Well, I'm going to tell on myself first.
I'll leave it to you guys. I'll have
get the whole stage. So if you don't got anything, all right. Yeah, guys, prepare yourselves because I'm going to ask you pop quiz questions. Okay, so here's a couple things. I gave my, and I'll say Claude Code. That's what I spend most of my days using these days. And I gave it access to one of my key business systems. And because I was having it help me, I don't know, diagnose things, set things up or whatever. And we're working away. Actually, I'll tell you what I was building because that's coming up next. I'm working away and something's not working right and it's diagnosing and it just goes through the normal, approve this action. I read it, I approve it. Approve this action. I read it, I approve it. And then I'm just kind of following along and it did not ask me to approve. And it's like, you know what? I'm going to just test real quick to see if I can delete this. Boom. And I'm watching a live thing on my production system. Gone. Just deleted. I was like, oh. Shit, that's how it happened. We always talk about the guy who used Claude Code or the gal who used Claude Code to delete an entire production database. I'm like, damn, because it didn't even ask for authorization. It just did it. It just deleted it as a test. And I called it out. I'm like, hey, that kind of sent a cold shiver down my spine. And it's like, oh, you're absolutely right to have a cold shiver go down your spine. But don't worry, I couldn't do anything bad because XYZ. I'm like, yeah, shut up. So it made me nervous. I'm not going to lie.
I've started using hooks a lot. So whenever it does something it's not supposed to, I basically say, you know what? I don't want you to ever do that again. Can you create a hook to prevent you from doing that? And it does. And then you'll see it actually try to attempt to do something and then go, no, I can't do that. I need your authorization. And so
that's a good one.
I've been adding hooks everywhere just to prevent it from doing things. For layman's terms, a hook is basically just every time the AI is about to use a tool it's not supposed to, it will prevent them from using that tool or that command, right? So deleting a database should definitely be a hook surrounding that. Should not allow you to delete a file without permissions. You can create a hook for that.
To be fair, it was just an entry that it had created. That's so that was its excuse. It's like, I did it. It was my own entry.
Yeah.
I can delete what I want. Some bullshit like that. All right. So
It's all sassing you like a 14-year-old.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yes, and I know about that.
I brought you into this life, bitch, and I can take you out.
I'm going to tell you what I vibe coded on a whim because, and Bryan, this is a result of you, my friend. You built that quarterly key initiative planner, right? And so I was using it to set up our little accountability dashboard that we all use. And it was like so much double entry. I built it all out, and now I got to go copy and paste and type it all in. And then I've got to set it up in Claude code because I'm going to use it to vibe code. And then I'm just like, who am I kidding? Because every time I put a quarterly initiative in that dashboard, I almost never get them finished. And so here is, I'm going to share my screen, and I'm going to show you what I built because I'm super proud of it. Tab. Yep, here we go. These are my quarterly initiatives. A gauge that shows me how off track I am. We're only in week 2, so don't judge me too badly. This is the one that actually is podcast related that brings in revenue. This is a different podcast series that I have. Obviously, I need to get to work here. I'll come back to that. No, I'm going to say it right now. I came in this morning and I wanted to vibe code. I had all kinds of cool things I wanted to do. And I looked at this gauge. I'm like, shit, I have to do that. So I did. Some of these, the reason I'm at 9% is because of this. So it sticks on this gauge the longest because this is number 1, or this dashboard, my number 1 priority. And then it'll kind of quickly flicker. I'm not going to wait for it to these other 2 that are lower in the priority stack. So priority number 2 is even less. It's only 3%. I've got time. I'll get it. And then the last one, the lowest priority, what do we see? All green, because this is my vibe coding. This is where it all began. This is what I love to do anyways. So
of course, the one he wants
keeps
to
me
do
from doing that
because
number 1's the one that makes money. I'm like, shit, but this is so much fun. So now I have a display sitting over here attached to the wall that is on 24/7, and I have to look at that red gauge telling me, Justin, quit screwing around.
And the fun thing about this, Justin, is that you created this for you, but imagine all of our employees, at least at B4 Networks, all of our employees typically have a quarterly key initiative as well, because we often run out of things to do, right? So we're plowing away, techs are built, completing tickets, but then all of a sudden they're like, oh, I'm fully caught up. What do I do? Well, the fallback is you should be twiddling your thumbs. You have a quarterly key initiative you can run into. Now imagine putting that up on your wall of your office, and every one of your staff sees what everybody else is on their quarterly objective. Boom! Now you have actual live information showing where people are, and it's incentive. They're like, oh, geez, I don't want to look bad in front of everybody else. And it's the whole Great Game of Business book, right, where they talk about
absolutely.
What you report on.
Great book,
improves what you improve. Yeah. Oh, fantastic. So you're basically doing that with technology now, right? So awesome. Yeah, I love it. I'm gonna steal that.
Leaderboards for that.
Yeah, I'm totally stealing.
Just so everybody can see on our screens where the leaders are and what their numbers are.
Yeah.
Sweet. Well, and here's the real problem that this is for me with my self-diagnosed ADHD is I sit down at my desk every single morning and I panic. Right? Like this is just what I do. I'm like, I have got a list of things to do that is 100,000 items long. Every single one of them is of equal importance. I've got to do them all. I've got to get them all done right now. And I'm like, fuck, I can't. And then I quit. Like that happens almost every single day. And I have to go sit on the porch swing and rock myself, and sing lullabies to myself or something to get myself regulated. And then I can come back in and work. But now I'm like, what I didn't show you, and I know we're way off track, but this has been.
Can you add on to there your heart rate that we talked about?
I'll add that to the feature request.
I think that should be up there.
This is the best part, though. It tells me I'm off track, but it also gives me the single most important thing I need to do. Add 6 prospects.
Lower your heart
Start
rate.
with existing client. This is it. So I don't have to look at 100,000 things. I'm like, this is project number 1, most important, and the single most important next task that I have to do. I can always go into the log, and I can look at the unending list of things that need to be done, which will overwhelm me and make me rock myself to sleep on the porch swing again. But the main dashboard just gives me one thing to do. Fucking love it. It's already been changing
the very
my
next
life.
thing for you to work
How much
on.
of that stuff can be automated by AI?
Oh, trust me, that's already started. Because there was one of these, I'm like, and it's like, do this every single week. I'm like, shit, I can do that in 10 minutes for the whole quarter. So yeah, we're going that route too. But this is the problem. And the beauty of AI is it's like one little idea then turns into 100,000 brilliant ideas that now just makes my list even longer of things I need to do. So that's the problem, Josh. Yes, it can be automated.
You're not wrong.
And they all take time. All right. All right,
Well,
guys.
and
It
I
is
mentioned
time.
this like a few weeks
What?
ago.
I guess not. What?
We're
Oh,
on
Mario,
delay.
what do you got?
That's the thing. With AI, it has really taught like me and a lot of my guys to start thinking again. You know, we're not in like this rut where it's just like a routine that you're doing the same thing every day. You're coming into work, kind of just going through tickets or whatever. It actually is helping everybody, you know, and I'm asking people like, you know, any ideas or even in conversations when they're talking about like an issue or whatever, I'm like, you know, I bet I can program something that will do that, you know, and it's really helping at least me really start thinking deeply again and not kind of go into like a rut like, you know, sometimes we find ourselves doing.
I think that was kind of the fear, is that it would stop us from thinking because it thinks for us. Holy hell, is that the opposite of true? And listen, I don't know about you guys, but there's like some weird delay and glitchy going on. Once again, our recording platform released a brand new built from the ground up thing today. So yeah, that's why we're stepping on each other. I apologize. I'm really pissed at the platform, so I'm not going to call out their name right now because I don't want them to sue me, but I hate them right now. That said, Bryan, I'm going to go ahead and punt this thing over to you and tell us all the great brilliance you've worked out with AI.
Okay, so the platform that the thing I'm going to be presenting today is, I'll conceptualize it and I'll describe it as much as possible because I know not everybody has access to be able to watch the video component. But essentially what I'm building is a reusable shell. So the majority of the time when we're vibe coding, we have to create the thing we want to create, but we also have to worry about security, login, permissions, how everything is supposed to interact with things. And then there's oftentimes things that are, you know, we worked on this other thing in another project, but now I have to recreate it in this new project. So for example, my app, I want it to be able to email out, or I want it to be AI enabled. When you're creating apps, you often have to reuse those modules. You have to reuse the entire component for emailing out. You have to recreate the entire component for logging in and security. You have to recreate the entire component for connecting it to AI. And so what I've effectively built is a portal shell that you can then bolt onto any application you want to develop. And not just for me, but for my clients and for my own staff. And so if you do have the ability to watch, I will be sharing my screen and showing you effectively what the portal looks like and its capabilities. And so this is sort of the entry point here where we log into the portal. Once you're logged in, I'm just going to fill this in. Once you're logged in, essentially it's a multi-tenant. So I've got two tenants right now, one for B4 Networks and one for Strategic Synergy. I just happen to be a tenant of both. So I'm just going to choose B4 Networks, which is, you know, what I would be presenting to my own team had if they were joining in. And it doesn't look like a whole lot because there's not a whole lot of applications installed right now. However, the sky is the limit. Now that I have this portion built, my team can dream up any application and any kind of mini applet that they want to create, and I can effectively build it out for them. So as an example, one of the example modules I put in here just as a test, it doesn't actually work right now, is Pulse, which is something that we currently pay a third-party company for. I'm not going to mention the name, but it effectively costs us, I think, $400 or $500 a month. And it's just like an employee check-in module. And so, you know, if I wanted that, I could create that for my own team, which probably took an afternoon. I've got another version of it that works. I can create this effectively in an afternoon, created it. And then, you know, now I'll be saving $400 or $500 a month. So I'll show you, not right now. I'll show you what it looks like when we're setting it up. Yeah, the Pulse is not a very big module. It takes very little time at all. The other module that I'm going to show, so I went into the admin settings where I can install modules. These are modules that have been pre-configured, ready to go for pretty much any tenant, because this is a multi-tenant system. So in here, in this module, for example, I can install the meeting runner, which again is just a stub. It doesn't actually work right now. But the meeting runner is kind of like if you were to want to run a meeting and be able to track issues, kind of like what you would do in an L10 meeting if you're following if you're a traction follower. then the meeting runner would install. So you've got your metrics. It opens up full screen. So you'll see that my menu on the left-hand side for the portal is now gone. I'm actively inside of a meeting, so it's taken up the entire screen. I can go to the next section, which again, this is a stub, so it doesn't work. I've got the menu agenda here on the left. And so effectively I could replace a bunch of tools that I currently use from other providers by using the portal that I built for myself and for my clients. So I'll be able to extend these tools that I've built here to my clients. It has an entire section on permissions and how to work with permissions. If I don't want everybody having access to the same 2 modules, I can go to the Permissions Explorer, basically go to the modules and say, the meeting runner, I want to have, who do I want to have this, access to this module, and I can give the people access to the module, and then only those people would be able to see it. So effectively, I've built an entire reusable portal that I can extend applets for my team, but also once my clients get their hands on it, because they will be able to use these built-in tools, they could then create their own applications, or they could, they couldn't create it, but they could reach out to me and say, I really wish I had a module that would do this. And I can just put it out within an afternoon or a couple of days, depending on the size of the module, and not have to worry about the reusable section, right? Don't have to recreate a login, don't have to recreate permissions, don't have to do single sign-on or 2-factor authentication. I don't have to worry about if their module uses AI, the AI component will already be built in. If their app needs to email out, that component will all be built in, and the module just has to tap into those resources. So all that to say is that once this is in place, we can help businesses effectively build little tools that they've always dreamed of having, but they were never really able to produce because it would be cost prohibitive for them to work on the entire application on their own. So the sky, like I said, the sky is the limit from here once we get this out to our clients and our own team.
Now it's time for some math, because that's my favorite part of this. God, this platform sucks today, guys. I am sorry. I don't know. Jesus.
I was going to ask you, Bryan, for your customers, say they want to be able to pull data from like QuickBooks or something, an ERP system, will they easily be able to do that themselves, or is that something that you have to do for them? And if they do it themselves, are they going to have it like, read only? Is it automatically going to be set up as read only, or is there a way where they could mess up anything?
So by default, the portal should handle all integrations with third-party providers unless it's a really custom one for that client, in which case I can just build it just for them. But for example, Xero accounting, QuickBooks, and all those types of integrations would be done at the platform level. So the portal would create those integrations, and whether they're read-only or they're able to write back will be up to the client. They will be able to turn on and off that functionality. Say, I only want it to be read-only and only pull data in, and then they'll be able to do that and pull the data that they want in. But each module would be customized at that point, right? So if a client wants to have something very unique that I haven't dreamt about yet, then I could either extend the portal to allow it to happen, or I can just create their module that it would be a one-off, and then they'd be able to use it however they want.
Now, when you release a module, does it just default to read only as a security precaution?
Every module is custom. So, for example, the meeting runner and the Pulse don't integrate with anything third party. So there's no concern there. It's directly writing to the databases that I have on the web server. But if they were to create a module that does need access to Xero accounting or QuickBooks, when you turn on the module or when you install it, because each tenant has to install it for themselves, when you install it, we can configure it at that point to say by default it's read only, and then you'd have to make a decision to turn it on. So those would be built on a module by module basis, essentially.
And then with all the modules, this is just a storefront for clients who come in and build this out. Like, would they have access to every module, or are you going to have ones that are explicit for kind of what you're doing in B4 Networks, and then what is general for everybody else?
Yeah, so there's going to be the modules when they're published as the platform administrator, one level above what you just saw. So there is another level above here. I can move over to the platform level. This is an entirely different interface. This is for me to install the modules that the tenants would then have access to, which I'm not sharing anymore, so you can't see it. But when I'm one level up, I can install modules, and in there I can configure it and say this is available to these tenants and just these tenants, and then those tenants could then authorize it for their clients as well. So as B4 Networks is one of the tenants of the platform, I can then, if a module is installed for me, I can then extend that module down to my clients.
Understood.
So a module that is used, say, for example, what is like some things that like a tenant or a customer will be able to use it for? Give us an example of what they can integrate QuickBooks for and use one of those modules.
That is a great question. So I haven't actually dreamed up what a QuickBooks module would look like. However, I can right off the bat say two things. One, let's say you want to pull data and create dashboards, right? So Justin, you just showed dashboards. I could create a module that effectively pulls information from Xero and creates a dashboard for the leadership team at whatever company, pulling information from multiple sources if I want, and then display that dashboard. Because the sky's the limit, I can create entry points into the portal at any point, whether it's logged in or not logged in. I can say this module can expose certain websites that are maybe a long cryptic thing, like kind of like BrightGauge used to do, right? Long cryptic URL that only if you knew the URL, you'd be able to access it. And then you'd be able to put it on your TVs and have those portals live or those dashboards live. That's one just off the top of my head use case of somebody integrating with Xero or QuickBooks. The other one would be, for example, how many just using the module to ask questions. Which client owes me the most money? And then it can bring up those invoices, right? Or be able to write back. So one of the modules I plan on creating for myself is the ability to list out all the invoices, pick from a select section of those invoices, and then generate a file that I can upload to my bank that they would then process those invoices to do AFT or pre-authorized debit. Right now, that process for me is manual because I don't have a software application that will generate the file my bank needs, and it would require me developing some sort of custom code, which I plan on doing. That's going to be one of the first modules I create. But that's another example of what you can do with QuickBooks. You can have little applets like that can do a variety of things.
But do
How
they
much
need
time
to
do you
know?
spend on that process? Because I know Justin wants to do math.
Yeah. So right now,
So,
it takes me personally about 4 hours to do the entire invoicing at the end of the month for the next month. If I create this module, I'll probably have it done in an afternoon, so probably take me about the same amount of time. But I will then be able to hand that off to an administrative person who can then generate the file and then upload it to the bank without the worry about having somebody enter a Xero in by accident and pulling 10 times the amount of one of my clients' bank accounts by accident. So yeah. Because it's all manual right now. It's kind of clunky.
Would your customers need to know like any table structures, or will your system be able to figure it out? Like, is it using AI to figure out what exactly they want? Can it figure out like if he wants a gauge that shows them how much money is in accounts receivable right now? Is it going to know automatically to pull it from certain things, or how is it mapped?
Well, the module isn't created yet, so what you're describing isn't something I've built, but I suppose it could be programmable, where the user could then create gauges on their own using plain language with an AI builder, because the AI, like I said, is built in at the core of the portal. So there is the ability to probably turn on AI on the module and say, hey, I want this type of functionality, and it would create the integration necessary for you to be able to pull in a new gauge and then add that gauge to a dashboard. I don't have that built out yet, but now that you mentioned it, I'm sure it would be relatively simple to do.
Damn it, Brian, why not?
Like I said, this is just the shell right now.
Yeah, no, I think there's a key feature in your product that we need to hit on. And I think it comes from multiple conversations we as IT providers have had with all of our clients. And it boils down to their line of business apps. How often do we talk to somebody and they're like, we have this app to get 10% of what we need.
Right.
We have this app and we only use 30% of what it was built for. Everything else doesn't work for us. We have this, and they just keep naming off all the things. And the one thing we ever hear or always hear is we never use 100% of the application, or it never does 100% of the things that we want it to do. And it always wins with, I wish we could just build our own freaking app.
Yeah. And so the purpose of what I'm building isn't necessarily to replace something like Job Boss or any of these big, massive applications. It's to build little applets that I wish it would do this and it can't. Well, hey, does it have an API? Because if it doesn't, or if it does, I can integrate it because anything with an
Yep.
API I can integrate into, as long as it's a publicly available API, we can then just create the little applet that does the thing that you want it to do and then integrate back into your tool. My intent is that I would sit down with all of our clients one-on-one and figure out, show me how you do business. I'm going to walk around with your accounting department, your service department, your operations department, your marketing department. I'm going to take a look at everything they do and go, you know what? We can automate this, 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 and this. Let's build the tools necessary to do the things that are repetitive, that are cumbersome, that are hard to implement because it's a lot of manual effort, and let your team focus on the things that really require a lot of creativity or a lot of unique skill sets, and let, kind of like what you did with your client, Josh, in the last podcast, automate the things that we can automate and let the team handle the things that can't be automated.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I think it's great. I just had a conversation yesterday with a prospect client, and he listed every app and every percentage of usage, and he's even already trying to start the vibe code, which made me a little nervous because they don't have IT. So whatever he builds, who knows where the holes and everything else, and hopefully we're going to change that. But it definitely boiled down to like, I am having to build these little applets because I always end my sentence with, I wish it could do. And then we're paying for something we don't necessarily have to.
One of the things that I thought about, because I thought the very same thing you did, like if a client wants to do this on their own. So the portal has a software development kit that I've created as well, which is effectively a stub of the portal. It doesn't have any of the functionality or any of the knowledge of how it works, but it has the rule set of what a new application would have to follow. Isolation, table isolation, like the security and everything that's involved in it. And I can basically put that in place for a client, give them Claude code and say, describe the app that you want, and it will build it, and it will make sure it conforms to the module system that I've created. And then as I install it into the portal, it will verify the code to make sure it's not doing anything it's not supposed to do, right? Not trying to access code or access tables, which, by the way, it can't, because each module is self-contained. They can't access each other's modules or the portal's modules or the tables. So they would be able to create their own module if I really wanted to, and then I can take that module, plug it in, and expose it to their tenant, and off they go to the races. So they probably wouldn't always need me. Initially, I'd probably want to be involved in every step of the way until I know that this system works the way it's intended. But that's the ultimate end goal, is to allow clients to effectively build their own little applets.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
No, I like it.
I'll definitely show you guys how it all works later under the hood.
And I don't know for you guys, but my the computer, of course, like our whole thing with our sound has been locking up. Justin locked up, and it looked like he had fallen asleep.
Yeah.
No, I'm just pissed. I'm just pissed off at Riverside right now, and I am going to drop their name because it's like every time I try to talk, about 14 seconds later, you guys hear me, and you're already halfway into your conversation.
This is why we need that heart monitor.
I guess it's fucking way up here, and I look like I'm frozen because I'm just trying not to put my fist through my screen. Anyways, yes, I do want to get to math.
It's been getting worse and worse the last 3 weeks.
Yeah, it's terrible. So we are going to keep this one kind of short today, guys, because I don't want to try to break a screen or anything, and I've already got a scar on a knuckle from another. Anyways, here's what I want to talk about, Brian. You gave me 2 math problems that I worked out while I was frozen and while I couldn't talk to you guys. Number one, in one of the little modules you showed, it was at an afternoon, and you said that a couple times. It takes you an afternoon. We'll call it 4 hours. Let's say your billing rate's $200. We're just going to use basic math here. Keep it simple. And that translated to saving, I believe you said $500 a month, right? On your Pulse app. Is that close?
So you broke up a little bit there. So Pulse itself, very small module, very, very limited as to what it can do. But yeah, we're paying about $400, and that's just us. And it goes up the amount of employees you have. So the actual company we use, I won't mention the name, charges per user. So we got about 18, 20 users in our company. So we're multiplying, let's say $5 a month times 20. I'm not doing the math properly. It's probably closer to $15 a month. Yeah. So let's say $15 a month. So it's about $300-$400. And that's just the one module. The meeting runner, we're probably paying about $1,100-$1,200 a month for that right now. And then I can take that and extend it to my clients as well, right? So not just me having access to it, but all of my clients would then also have the ability to have access to the same tool set. And right now they're paying, like if they're using the same applications, they're paying a significant amount for those too. So when I develop an app, I'm developing it for myself, but I can then extend it to all my clients and potentially charge them half of what they're currently paying, or in some cases for free. So the math on just the 2 modules that I showed, the meeting runner and the Pulse, is probably around $1,500 to $1,600 a month times 12, right? And there would be your So in this particular case, I'm replacing existing applications that I'm currently using with custom ones that I can modify to work exactly the way that I want them to work.
And we're going to call it an $800 investment to develop it, right? And that's turning into a savings of tens of thousands of dollars. All right.
Well, so the app will work.
About 20,000 a year.
Yeah. No, I get it. You complicated the equation to the point where I can't finish it anymore. Thank you very much. But I am going to say that 10 to 50x is like drop in the bucket. We're so far beyond that because you've taken this exponentially where you're now rolling it out to your clients. But fair warning, they're just going to vibe code their own and not pay you. But anyways,
maybe
the ROI on this thing is just crazy. And this is just one little piece of the thing you built. Right?
One tiny little piece. I'll be able to create an infinite amount of applets for my clients, and they'll be able to save an infinite amount of time and energy and savings.
Yeah. All right, guys. I'm done with Riverside. Listen, I'm just going to stop everybody because I'm just so fucking tired of this thing. Every time anybody says anything, we're stepping on everybody else. Save it. We'll come back next week. We'll do this bigger and better. But Riverside, get your shit together. Jesus Christ. Hire a vibe coder or something. This is terrible. Guys, I'm going to go around the room, opposite order this time, baldest to most hair. Give me your final thoughts, your sign off, and then we're done.
I guess that's me. I don't know half the things that you just said, but
God, damn it.
For me, the biggest thing is that you can build tools to replace tools, and save an infinite amount of money, and then have your customers be able to save that money. You should probably start taking a cut out of that after a while, Brian. But like I said earlier, I think by next week we may be vibe coding our own Riverside.
Just don't have it banged out within the app.
Getting worse.
Yeah, he's so pissed off. It'll be done tomorrow.
Next most hair.
That's gonna be Brian.
That would be me.
Brian.
Brian Lachapelle with B4 Networks. If you're interested in what you've seen and what we're talking about here, give me a call. I would love to be the guide in your journey to AI and everything vibe coding and how to improve your business using technology and automation.
And on that, I'm Joshua Holloway with 7th Technologies out of the Sacramento area. And we want to be your beacon in the sea of artificial intelligence and help you find the right direction home and get it all figured out, safe, secure, and keep you protected. And I know Justin's going to talk about all the different hackers and everybody else who's going to get a hold of you.
No,
I thought we were doing key takeaways. I didn't know we were doing sign-offs.
I said give your takeaways and your sign-off because then I'm done. I'm pissed. I'm sick of this. My blood pressure. Wish if I had a monitor hooked up, it would break the goddamn screen. Listen, we're done.
Hey,
I'm wrapping this up.
AI fatigue.
Yeah, we're talking about some fatigue. We're wrapping it up, guys. Go to unhackmybusiness.com, hit episode 96, the hosts, and tell me what's wrong with my studio or what's different. It's not necessarily wrong. And you'll win $100 to the first one who gets it right. Everybody else, I'll throw you into a drawing for some undisclosed prize. I don't know what it is yet because I'm just making this shit up as I go. But there is prizes. We're going to really do that. Unhackmybusiness.com. And ask the host, give us that, ask any other questions, request a consult. If you want to talk to Brian about his thing, just put it in there. I'll pass it on to him. Brian's a good friend of mine. No worries. I won't steal the lead and do it myself, probably. All right, guys, that's it for this week. I'm so pissed at this software. I got to go drink a beer or something and get my blood pressure back down. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week. Take care, guys. Jesus Christ.
Unhacked.
And it won't even do the outro music. It won't even play the outro music. Jesus.
I honestly thought it was my computer, so I started turning off applications.
Yeah, me too.